Oh, well, James, first of all, good morning.
Morning.
Can I start with some injury updates? Jack McCourt and Joel Taylor from the weekend. What's the latest with those guys?
We're not sure on both of them at the moment. They're training today, and we'll see after the training session.
Hopeful then?
Yeah, hopeful. Both really a carry on from the game against Sutton, which was a physical game. And like I said, they'll train today, and hopefully they'll come back into the fold.
I wanted to ask you a little more about Jack Clark, who at the weekend described as a gem. What's he been like to work with in your time at Chesterfield?
He's, as you know, I'm from a development background, so it's really a pleasure to work with him. He's a top talent. He wasn't ready when he first came in. He had obviously a not so successful loan at Yeovil. It was important to get his confidence back, and he's full of confidence now, as you can see.
Yeah, and how much more is there in him, do you think?
Loads more. This is only the start of his career, but I'm glad he's here in the building with us, in the club, and long may his form continue. Obviously there's going to be peaks and troughs, like any player in his age group really playing in the National League or League Two. It's a physical league, and without doubt he ticks the technical boxes. It's just learning the other side of it now, and the way he ran, tackled, pressed. That was the most impressive thing for me. Other people will look at his assist for Tom and his overall technical play, the way he took the ball, the way he drove the ball. But for me, it was the other side that I was most impressed about, because that's what we've been talking about. That's what he's been learning, and one doesn't come without the other.
You described his role at the weekend as the bridge position. For fans that aren't familiar, can you take us through that role as you see it and how it fits into the Chesterfield system?
Well, he played as the 8, didn't he? So he was he joined in the front really well, but he also helped Curtis in the back three. So I called it the bridge. I don't know why, it just came out in a team talk one day, so we'll go with that.
Fair enough. From the weekend, I mean, I guess the only thing that you had a slight issue is probably not the right word, but finishing could have been a bit better. But in terms of things to work on, what do you feel is still there to develop then with your game?
Well, I thought we were awesome for 12 minutes. I thought we were absolutely outstanding. You can only beat the opponents in front of you, and I've read a bit after the game, etc. And some people point to a poor Barnet side. I don't see that. I think that Paul's got them going again. They had a spell, certainly in the first half, after around 20 minutes when Paul changed it. And they came into the game a little bit, but we defended very well and resolutely till half time and came out stronger again for that 15-minute period in the second half, and deservedly went 2 up. But it could have been more at half time. You're quite right, if our finishing was slightly better. But our players kept getting in there. Addy missed the first one after 20 seconds, but he gets his reward for getting in there just after half time. So plenty of positives, but like I said, we can't dwell on the victories or the losses. We're straight on to Aldershot yesterday. We know what a challenge that will be tomorrow evening.
Yeah, I mean, from the first game that you played them to now, how much do you think has changed about the way opposition sides approach Chesterfield and the way they take you guys on?
I don't want to comment too much on other teams and the way they're setting up. Not too many teams have changed what they're doing, really. Some teams have. Some teams have changed it in the game, like Paul did. He tried 2 or 3 different formations within that game to try and change the flow, change the momentum of the game. I expected that from him. He's a very experienced manager, and if I have half the career he's had, then that'll be a privilege.
Yeah, Aldershot, your old club there as an assistant. I mean, what did your time there teach you about management and the job itself?
It taught me loads. Gary Waddett was an outstanding manager there. He's obviously applying his trade now at Cambridge as a number 2, and look where they are in the league. It's no surprise that he's having an influence there. The top guy, and it gave me an opportunity to realise this is for me, because obviously coming from a development side, stepping into first team football, you never know if it suits you, if you can get along with the players well, can you adapt to still influence older players, more experienced players, and still have that development side. So it taught me a lot. Obviously we were very successful in their 2 playoff campaigns out of the 2.5 years I was there. Obviously it's been a bit sad to see them not pushing in the top echelons of the league since I've left. 2.5 years ago they've obviously been in the bottom half, but the supporters base there, got a great relationship with them, and hopefully they'll come back to the upper echelons of the league in the near future, which they haven't achieved yet.
How soon did you know when you were doing that job that, right, yeah, this is where I see my future, this is what I want to do?
It just happened organically, really. But also, I was fortunate to have Gary by my side, and he's very experienced at League Two and National League. He's had success in both leagues, and we would discuss it daily. Where I was with my development as a coach, can I step into management? What would be my challenges? What are my strengths? And let along with educating myself in Holland, etc. It just came as the natural progression, the natural step, and took that at Gloucester, and I've ended up here.
Yeah, I was going to say, how much of management can you only learn by doing?
Yeah, it's in life, I think that we're talking about Jack at the start of this conversation. I think, I can add 1% here and there, but ultimately it's up to Jack when he steps on that pitch, how he's going to perform. It's very much the same in any walk of life, isn't it? You can fly when you experience, really, and I'm certainly enjoying the experience here now and learning every day.
Do you still enjoy the theory side of it? Or the hands-on, is that where you are now?
No, I'm still doing I was doing a master's in sports directorship at Manchester Uni. I did the first year. Great course there, learning so much, but I had to defer for a year because there's so much going on here. So when I pick the baton up with that, I'm not sure. It would just depend, obviously, what happens here in the next months, the upcoming months, and obviously I need to let them know by September whether I'm going to come on to the second year then or defer for another year. But that's been a fantastic course. The master classes on there from different sports, people talking from rugby to football to hockey, to the business side, and I think we had one of the best talks was a chap, the owner of HomeServe, speaking about how he transformed that business and leadership. You can lead in different ways. There's no holy grail of leadership and management. It's purely down to your own grasp of it. But what you can't do is pretend to be something you're not, because you'll quickly fall down if that's the case. You need to be who you are and be strong in your values. And I'm learning that every day here.
Yeah, and what interesting to hear as well, you're talking about leadership across different sports as well. How important do you feel that is, that football isn't narrowly focused just on itself and can't take ideas from elsewhere?
Well, it's my grasp on it. Other managers and other leaders might feel differently. They want to be just hear about the field they're in. But for me, I like to broaden my horizons. Obviously, on the course in Holland, I've now got a mentor in Martin, who's an ex-Olympic hockey coach. I speak to him regularly, and I love his views on it. It's out of the box, it gets you thinking, and it challenges you, and I like to be challenged.
Opportunity on Tuesday to rotate, whether you do or you don't. I just wondered, one of those things in management is having those conversations with players about why you're doing it, and are you the sort of manager that goes, right, I'll tell you now, and we'll have a sit down and chat beforehand, or are you sort of a manager that will say, let's talk after the game?
I'll always be honest with the players. I'll never name anything in front of the group that individuals weren't aware of if I thought it was going to be a bump in their road. I'm always open and honest, and I think that builds trust and respect, because without trust you can't have conflict. So that's the first stage is a trusting relationship, and that's hard when you come into a club after 9 games or 10 games. When I came in, you're trying to build those relationships quickly with these existing legacy players, and also some of their friends have departed, so that can be a bump as well. So I'm impressed with how quickly the groups come together. I think the bounce back after Stockport, and also the quick succession defeats, the narrow defeat on Tuesday, which is hard to take, to come back and perform like that in the early stages, I think that shows a lot about the group. I was really impressed, but it's quickly forgotten. We learn from that and say, okay, then that's great, we've bounced back again. Can we now go into Tuesday and back that win up?
Very best of luck to you, James.
Thank you. Cheers.
Good morning, James.
Hi.
You gave Lawrence Maguire the captaincy on Saturday. How do you think he did as a captain, as well as his performance?
Yeah, very good. I think his communication was probably the best it's been I've heard on the pitch. Just my observations from the game. Defended really well, used the ball really well also. So an impressive display. I liked his voice in the change room. That's what I want to hear more of. Like I said, after the game, I want to make sure We've got representatives in the team that represent the community and the fan base, and Lawrence certainly does that.
Is that a side of his game that you saw quite early on when you came into the building then?
Yeah, he conducts himself very well. His actions, he leads by actions. He's very good in training, trains regularly, consistently. Wants to train too much, have to get him off the training pitch and let him calm down a little bit. After games, he rarely wants to do a recovery session. He wants to be out touching the ball, which I like. I like that mentality. And he's a winner. I know he's a winner. I've seen that. And I want to surround myself with winners.
Will he continue to captain the side while others are out at the minute?
He will. He will.
One of those players is obviously Will Evans. He's not been in the squad for a couple of matches now. How do you see his position, and what would you like to see from him to try and work his way back in?
Hard work, which I'm sure he'll bring, knowing him for a long time. I've known him now for 4 or 5 years, so I know what he will bring every day. Leadership, while he's not in the group, because he hasn't been in the group, obviously the last couple of games in regards to the squad. No different to Hayden Hollis when he came out. And Hayden's come back in, conducted himself very well off the pitch, and come in and obviously performed in the 20 minutes against Sutton very well, and again on Saturday. So that's what I'm looking for. And it won't just be Will, it'll be other players as well coming in and out, because that's what we need to do. But ultimately I'm picking teams to win games. Like I said, we've got medium term objectives here. It's clear, whether that's recruitment, whether that's financially bringing the budget down, which we've done really well with the players we've signed now and for next year. Despite us growing our group, our squad, we've actually brought the budget down. I know that might seem strange to hear, but it's factual. If you look at our recruitment, we've recruited from the league below and also some young players, so in general, which is credit really to the club and to the people around me that we've identified those players and they've come in and had such a big impact. So in regards to picking teams to win games, it's crucial now because it becomes short term. I don't like working in short term. I want to work medium to long because I think you get the success in the end. However, because we were in a position where we didn't really think we'd be in after 9 games when I took over, it's really crucial now that we try and pick up the wins and do the best we can in what's become a little mini league.
We've already spoken about Jack Clark. Is he ready to start game after game now, or is he still at that stage where he will have to come in and out of the team?
Yeah, I'm going to have to manage him on. I think we can't get ahead of ourselves with him. He's also not our player. We've got to remember that he's Aston Villa's player, and we don't know what the outcome will be with his contract. Obviously, he's got a few months left on his contract. He's waiting to hear on that, and then we'll act obviously from what Villa want. But I've got to protect him. I've got to use my experience in development and first team now and make sure that he's dropped in and out at the right time to have the best influence for the team. Ultimately, we want to win games. So, yes, I want to develop players, but like I said, it's short term now. We want to win at all costs.
And just finally, it's obviously Aldershot tomorrow. It's a tricky pitch from what we saw last time. Is it going to be a totally different game to Saturday, do you feel?
It will be. I think the pitch has improved by looking at observing the games they've played, so that's good. It's always a decent pitch down there. So yeah, we're looking forward to the game. Obviously, if we win tomorrow, it won't feel like a complete win for me because of my affiliation with my ex-club. I've got a strong relationship there with the fan base, etc. So, I'm going to go all out for the win, of course. I'm representing Chesterfield. There's no doubt that there'll be, I'm single-minded about what I want to achieve tomorrow. But if we do win, I know in myself that it won't feel like the complete win because, you have an affiliation for places you've worked before.
Well, thanks for your time, James, and good luck tomorrow.
Cheers.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Morning, James.
Morning.
A great win against Barnet on Saturday.
Thank you.
What would you say were the standout features of the win?
I would say, obviously, Lawrence captaining the side for the first time and keeping a clean sheet while doing so is impressive. Alongside him on his right shoulder was Hayden, who's had a break from the team, come in and showing that the training we're doing with the group or the players that aren't involved in the squad's working. So we're topping them up really well. So my staff's done really well on that. So credit to Nick and my staff for topping him up, making sure he's ready for when he was called upon. So he's shown that's great. And the last thing is, excuse me, is Jack Clark. I think Jack Clark's assist, but he's also assisted really Addy in the first 20 seconds where Addy could score. So he's had a final product for all his physical work that he did. He also had a final product which I really liked. So they were probably the three standout things, but I don't want to single out too many individuals because as a collective we've bounced back quickly from the disappointment against Sutton.
It was nice to get a fair comment from the Barnet manager after the game, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. There were some nice words from Paul. He also spoke to me after the game a little bit as well. So, like I said, it's if I have half the career he's had, it'd be a privilege.
Joe Rowley made his first appearance since injury. Has he come through okay?
He has. That was perfect for him to come on there for 25 minutes plus extras. It's just what he needed for his confidence as well. Sometimes when you're coming off a longer term injury such as his hamstring one, 5-6 weeks, you need mental confidence as well to know that you can push yourself and everything's going to be okay. And he certainly did that in the game. You can give someone as much training as you like. It's still not the same as match play, and certainly impressed with his contribution coming onto the pitch.
So is it just a matter of working up to match fitness now?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's challenging, Ian, because we haven't got a 23s or reserve. So, like I've just said to Liam, it's short-termism now. We want to get results. Every game matters. Every minute matters now. Every second matters. Smallest details matter now. If you want to go and have a push, and you want to get in the upper parts of the division in that top 7, every little moment counts. And I think the players realise that. I think they showed that in the first 12, 13 minutes. The way we conducted ourselves in that first stage of the game was outstanding, and that's the problem with the likes of Joe, etc., is finding the balance of when to drop them in and it not affecting the results.
Well, we've got Aldershot tomorrow, a club you're very familiar with. What can we expect from them?
Enthusiasm. We have to be careful on the transition because they pick up false positions. So perhaps you'd expect certain players to recover in certain positions. That's not the case. So if it turns over, you've got to be careful that they don't catch you. So we need to manage that. We need to be really focused on the turnovers tomorrow. But we want to influence, like I've been saying. How can we influence the game? I think there's space to influence it the way we want to. We've got to be good with the ball and brave, and I'm sure we will.